Hey kids, welcome to Zuppo story.
You know how sometimes you see something that's so cute it's almost unsettling? Well, today we're diving into the Labbu doll. It's a big-eyed, fluffy-eared collectible that has, somehow, become the star of a truly terrifying internet legend. So the big question is, how did this innocent-looking little toy get a reputation for being cursed, haunted, and maybe even deadly? Well, it all seems to center around one particularly chilling story. To really understand the global panic, we have to zoom in on one person's experience. Now, whether this story is true or not, that's up for debate. But what's not debatable is that this story lit the match for this whole viral phenomenon. And her name was Maylin. Maylin, from all accounts, was just a super sweet, kind person. She was working in a toy shop in Shanghai, having moved to the big city to support her family, and she had a real passion for her job, especially her huge collection of unique dolls she'd gathered from all over the world. So one day, a new shipment of limited edition Labbu dolls comes into her shop, and one of them immediately catches her eye. It was this golden one, a totally unique shade. With its cute little smile, these big blue eyes, and long ears, she just thought it was the most charming doll she'd ever seen. So of course, she set it aside for herself and took it home. Maylin gets home, all excited to introduce the newest member of her doll family to her dog, Bao. But Bao, who usually greets new toys with a happy, wagging tail, had a completely different reaction. He starts barking furiously, just growling at this little golden doll. Maylin thought it was strange, for sure, but she kind of just shrugged it off, put the doll up on a shelf, and went to bed. And that was the first sign that something was very, very wrong. And what started as just a weird reaction from her dog, well, it quickly spiraled into something way more sinister. Maylin's life was about to completely unravel, and at a truly terrifying pace. So, get this. The very next day, Maylin, who everyone knew for her sweet personality, has this totally uncharacteristic outburst at a customer, and she's fired right on the spot. She had no idea where that sudden rage even came from. That night, she has this horrifying nightmare about a decaying, red monster with sharp claws attacking her, and by day 3, that nightmare would bleed straight into reality. In the middle of the night, after that terrifying dream, Maylin woke up with a jolt. She screamed. The Labbu doll, which she distinctly remembered putting back on the shelf, was now sitting directly on her chest, and its smile, in the darkness, seemed wider and a lot more menacing. And this is what's so interesting, right? The object itself didn't change, but how Maylin saw it did, completely. That cute smile now looked like a horrifying grin. The beautiful golden fur, well, in her mind, it was now stained with blood. Her prized collectible had totally transformed into a symbol of a deadly curse. Panicked by the doll moving, her dog Bao attacked it, ripping it to shreds. A relieved Maylin just threw the pieces in the trash and went back to sleep. But the next morning, she couldn't find Bao anywhere. She searched the whole apartment, finally entering the kitchen, and that's where the nightmare truly became real. The doll was sitting by the sink, perfectly intact, its hands and teeth stained red, and below it was Bao's body, mauled and lifeless. Terrified, Maylin did what a lot of us would do. She went online. And that's when she discovered she wasn't alone. Her personal horror story was just one piece of a much larger and much, much scarier puzzle. As she desperately searched for answers, she found that stories eerily similar to hers were popping up all over the world. It turns out the golden Labbu doll was just the beginning. The online reports were chillingly consistent. You had people claiming their Labbu dolls were actually biting them, leaving these strange red marks on their skin. Others reported a sudden string of absolutely terrible luck right after buying one, losing jobs, falling unexpectedly ill, or even experiencing the sudden death of a family member or a pet. To try and explain this wave of, well, evil online, theorists started pointing to ancient mythology. The name that kept popping up was Pazuzu, a powerful and seriously evil demon from Mesopotamian lore. So the theory was this ancient entity had found a new, deceptively cute home to live in. Maylin's story ends here. In a final, desperate act, she burned the doll, collected the ashes in a jar, and threw them into a river nearby. She even called her sister that night, probably thinking the nightmare was finally over. But the next morning, she was found dead in her home, and right beside her body,
pristine and still smiling, was the golden Labbu doll.
So, whether you believe Mylan's story is a true account or just a really well-crafted piece of fiction, its impact is undeniable. It hits all the notes of a classic urban legend, right? It taps into that age-old fear of the cursed doll and plays on that really unsettling contrast between childlike innocence and pure evil. It's this exact combination that makes the story so powerful and so contagious.
These stories spread like wildfire, leading to widespread panic. I mean, there are reports that several countries have actually banned the sale of Labbu dolls. In other places, terrified owners have apparently called in priests to perform exorcisms on the toys, just desperate to cleanse them of whatever evil they might hold. It's a modern panic, for sure, fueled by the speed of social media, but it's rooted in some very old fears.
Which brings us right back to our central question. Is there a genuine, supernatural force at work here? An ancient demon finding a home in a mass-produced toy? Or is this all just a perfect storm of modern folklore, a really compelling horror story that went viral because it so perfectly taps into our collective anxieties? The answer, it seems, really depends on what you choose to believe.